right here.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy almost Halloween. We are so excited to be here today to talk about the social media horrors, some of the top 5 nightmares, mistakes that we as marketers, social media managers, freelancers, content creators, all over the board, that most of us have probably made these mistakes.
Yeah. We all have our social media scaries working in the industry.
And of course, to get in the Halloween spirit, we just wanted to go over these and then also go through some resources and some tips to overcome these, because as we know that some of these are inevitable, but it's how you learn to bounce back, how you learn to manage that. So super excited to get into it today. Before we get started, just a fun little question. If anyone is dressing up this year, drop what you are dressing up as. Obviously, we found the perfect Halloween costume for a social media manager. But I love to see everyone's costumes, especially kind of work-wise. I love when people can make a funny joke out of their work or what they do. But Alex, are you dressing up?
I don't think so this year, but if I was, it would probably be something like basic because last minute. What about you? Are you dressing up?
Not on Halloween, no. I will probably be dressing up similar to this.
Yes.
But over the weekend, I threw a last minute outfit together and was a cactus.
That's fun.
It worked out. Sometimes it's, you just got to be creative.
Yeah.
That's one thing about this job that has helped me. You got to think on your toes.
Yes. And those are the best costumes too, like the ones that are out of the box that like you don't expect or that are like fun puns.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to get into it. Before we start too, if anyone wants to drop in the comment either their top social media nightmare or their worst social media mistake, we would love to know. I know that I've had some recently. One of mine was sending a wrong email to a whole database. So if you received an email from a really strange email from us, then
That was our bad. I think it was in Latin, I'm pretty sure. So sorry if you saw that email.
but these things happen every day. And, a lot of people are quick to comment. And, I'm sure brands, they receive a lot of criticism for errors, but sometimes these things are inevitable, and it's how you kind of bounce back from it and how you move forward. So if you're ever feeling spooky about doing something, a mistake, or kind of running into an issue, then know that you're not the only one. Everyone makes mistakes. We're human, but there's some ways and some tools that can help you.
And that's also how we learn too. Like you can't be perfect 100% of the time. So we all relate.
Yes. I just want to see. Nightmare is reaching people or getting is the reach people or getting results for my clients. Mistake is sending wrong cold pitch to someone. Posting on the wrong account.
I've
Yes.
done that. so many things. I'm pretty sure I also recently posted on the wrong account and didn't realize until like maybe 20 minutes in.
Leo, hi. My
Hi.
social media nightmare would be losing my Instagram account.
Oh no, that is a nightmare.
Did you get it back? Okay, I think, also another nightmare is, I don't know if this ever happened, has ever happened to anyone that's like gotten a new phone, but I got logged out of my TikTok account and then it wouldn't let me log in, so I had to create another one. But now I see my old account on TikTok still, so it's just like I can't go back.
TikTok is strange in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, shall we get into the first social media horror?
Let's get started.
Okay. It's showtime. Let's do it. Okay, the first social media nightmare is my account's reach is stagnant, my likes are low, and my videos are getting no views. So we've all had this moment where you spend hours working on a video, a post, a carousel, whatever it might be. You think it's, super valuable content, really funny, whatever it may be. And then it just goes flat.
Yeah, you get that 200 view peak and you're like, okay.
So, in that moment, if you ever have that moment, here are some solutions that can help you. So, inside of Metricool, we have a feature that will show you your top performing posts across, each network in a certain time frame. So, having this information will allow you to see what's been working well, which posts have, had received the most reach, the most likes, the most comments, which posts are engaging your audience the most, so that you can replicate this same idea.
I'm going to go ahead and demo it.
Yeah.
So here we are in Metricool. So instead of in the planner, you're actually going to go up here to the analytics. And if you are already a Metricool user, you'll see that our dashboard looks a little bit different today. It is actually a new update. So a little shout out to our product team. But depending on whatever platform you want to do, so let's say, for example, Instagram, you want to maybe look at some of your best posts. So you're going to pick a time frame. I typically like to do either the last month or the last 3 months, and you're going to go down to your posts, to your list of posts. And then here you're going to see what those top posts are. And you can filter this for however you'd like. So let's say you care the most about impressions, or maybe you want to see interactions. It's totally up to you. But let's say for us, it's impressions. So I can see what the highest impression was. So for us, that was actually this social media management meme. So another simple thing is you could easily replicate a similar meme. We also shared a bunch of our freebies, and that seemed to do pretty well. So we could go ahead and repurpose this content a couple months down the road. We could focus on just one of the freebies. So this is a really great, easy way to kind of just see all of your top performing posts and think outside the box and replicate it or spin it in a new way. You can basically always spin a social media post in like 7 different ways, really, if you just like sit down. You can break it up. You can focus on one section. You can even just share the same post again, or you can just rework how it looks. A lot of the time, it is completely okay to do that. And we find it really helpful. This is one of our strategies. We always look at our top performing posts and we're like, okay, what can we duplicate? What can we do that's similar? And we find it to be really well, especially if you are, in that, like, if your videos are only getting 200 views or you're not really getting that much engagement. Depending on the metric that you care about the most, you can always, filter by that and then try to think of new ways to use content that you've already, made up.
Nice. The second point too is conducting an account audit. So going off of that, besides looking at kind of what posts are performing well, you need to make sure that your account is up to date, is optimized for, is very SEO friendly, has the most accurate information and kind of details about your brand so that when someone goes into your account, they know exactly what content you're posting, exactly what your brand stands for. And you can conduct this on, kind of a frequent basis to make sure that your account is always represented very accurately. So we are going to drop a audit template. You can use this to guide you through an account audit. Super easy, very user-friendly. So make sure to try that out the next time you go to refresh your audit, your account audit.
And it's completely free to use the template as well. And you can, of course, take, if you already have a metrical account, you can take the analytics within there to do the audit, or you can also do it natively within the app. We like to use a combination of both, honestly. And that should also give you kind of like a good idea. And I always like to say that you should try to audit your account at least every 6 months, because with the way that social media changes so fast, like that's kind of a good framework to just be like, okay, like let me just double check everything is up to date, everything looks good, what can I fix, what needs to change.
Yeah. And then the last solution for this first nightmare is to view the best times to post. So sometimes when we post, we aren't thinking about, when our users are most active during the day. And there's two ways that you can look at this, or you can use a combination of them. So in most native platforms, TikTok, Instagram, they will have data metrics about what times your audience is most active. And in Metricool, we also have the same feature, which you can view inside of the planner. Alex is going to pull it up. So you'll see that the calendar has a different, has a gradient scale. So the darker colors will indicate the better times, and then the lighter colors is kind of the worst time. So when your audience, not as many followers are active. You can view this for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X or Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You can even, yeah. You can even toggle on the exact percentage. So you can see, really quickly of, okay, 80% of my audience will be active at this time. And this takes into account last week's activity. So yeah, it's nice and, color coordinated for each network.
It's really easy to use. It's free. And another thing is that we find that a lot of people will use the best times to post feature, but they don't toggle on the percentages. And I personally, as someone who plans a lot, I think that the percentages are super helpful, because I mean, the gradient itself is super helpful, but just seeing the percentages and having that actual number makes it a lot easier to drag and drop all over the calendar. So we really enjoy that feature. So I would toggle on the percentages for sure.
Okay, so just again, social media nightmare number one is my accounts reach is stagnant, my likes are low, and my videos are getting no views. Solutions for this: top performing posts in Metricool, account audits, and view best times to post. Okay, going into social media nightmare number two, I can't keep up with my competition. So if you are someone, that has a few bigger competitors or multiple competitors in your space, it's one, smart to see what they're doing, analyze what they're doing, but it's also can be frustrating if you're trying to compare your accounts against each other and realizing that you're falling behind. So some solutions for this, and this isn't necessarily to say, that you're going to come after your competition and try to, I don't know, come after them. But this is a way that you can content model, is what it's called. So you can take what your competitors are doing, see what's working well for them, and then take it back to your strategy, your brand, and tweak it to align with your brand's goals and what what your content pillars are, reflecting on your own brand's goals, to create content that's going to work well for you. So we're going to show you how to conduct a competitor analysis in Metricool. So this works for Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
YouTube.
Let's look at it. Yeah, for Instagram, easiest one to do.
So you're going to want to click on competitors. That's the easiest way to get to it, or you can just scroll all the way down. I already have a list of competitors put in. So I just did a bunch of different sportswear brands. So I have Nike's, Adidas, Puma, Under Armour, and Gymshark. So it's really easy to add a competitor. You can even use it on the free Metricool plan. You can add up to 5. And then if you have a premium plan, it just bumps up a bunch. So you can go ahead and add them. It's really easy to delete them too. So let's say you don't want to look at another competitor and you've reached your cap, just delete one and add a new one. And all you really need is a handle, and it just needs to be, a public account. So here you can see what is the most important for you. So you can see followers, posts, reels, likes, comments, and engagement. So let's say you wanted to see, like how their like count is doing. You can also look at more stats and individually see like what their top posts are, which is super valuable because like Aniston was saying, you want to, use your content modeling. So you can take, let's see, if you're let's say you care the most about engagement. What was the most engaging post for them? So it's this post right here. So maybe you could look at the caption, see what it says. You can view it in the app, and you can see, how can I replicate this? Is this something that I can apply to my own strategy? The goal is obviously not to copy, because every brand is different. Everyone has, their own things that make them unique and their own selling points, but it's a really great way to just kind of see what's working in your industry, see what's not working in your industry, and honestly, a good way to give inspiration too. I feel like social media a lot of the times is definitely a comparison game, but it doesn't have to be seen in that negative way. Like you shouldn't be comparing and getting frustrated. I think it's a very valuable tool to kind of use it as inspiration for your own posts so that you can further improve your strategy and do better ultimately. But it's a really great tool. And again, like I said, you can sort, like if let's say you wanted to see what post had the most comments, you can sort that way, and you can see this for pretty much all of the competitors that you have listed. And you can see those in-depth stats. We personally, like, my favorite is the list of posts or the list of reels, because that's really just going to give you like the most concrete information of what you can work off of. But there's many things you can do with the competitor analysis feature. You can even compare them as well. So that's really nice. You just, you click on compare, you click the two, and you can click multiple and you can compare them. That's a newer feature that we have. So I definitely recommend doing a competitor analysis so that you can kind of not feel stressed out, but just like inspired.
I think this is a great tool. I mean, a lot of what our tool helps is avoiding having to manually go into each network, each account, flip between accounts. So this is a way that you don't have to go into, all of Nike's, all of Gymshark's, or all of your competitors and like scroll through it. You can see at a glance, okay, these are the top performing posts. What have they done? What themes do they have? What captioning were they using? What hashtags, if SEO is involved? So all of this can help answer those questions instead of scrolling through and seeing, okay, what was the number of likes on this? What was the comments? Then you go to the next one. Okay, was it more or less? Okay, the next one, oh, I forgot which the first numbers were. So it can get can get overwhelming and can get into kind of a doom scroll of just, okay, I'm just looking at other people's content. Is this really helping, or am I just now feeling bad about my content?
Exactly. Yeah, it takes a lot of the work out of it. And that way, you're not obsessing. It's more so just you're looking at the hard analytics and being like, okay, like how can I use this?
Yep, exactly. Because we don't want any spookies.
No.
No social media scaries.
No.
Moving on to number 3, I don't know which platforms my target audience is on. So, as social media managers, we probably know this well, that you want to be able to find your niche audience. You want to be able to create kind of that loyal community, something that is super valuable on social media. So we're going to help you find your target audience. If you already know exactly where they are, or if you just want to have better resources to really connect with your audience. So we are going to share, we have made our own CSV template. Alex, if you want to maybe go into more depth on this, how it can.
Yes. So our CSV template is really useful because it kind of holds a lot of different tools and resources. But just talking specifically about the audience analysis, the template is free to download. So it'll be separated out into tabs. And at the bottom, you can start with the audience analysis. So you can really figure out who your target audience is, because first and foremost, that's the most important. You need to know who you're targeting, the age, maybe the location, depending on whatever your brand or business is. So the CSV template is going to help you do that. We're going to drop it in the comments as well. It's free to use. I highly recommend. And it can also go hand in hand with many other, other platforms that you can use, because of course, with all the different social media platforms we have today, it's like a common misconception that you need to be on everything. And that's not necessarily the case. Like, of course, you can be on everything if you want. And there are many things that, like, Metricool makes it super easy to be on all the platforms. But of course, you're probably going to have your 1 to 2 platforms that your core audience is on. Like for us, it's Instagram. Like Instagram's like our core platform, followed probably by like LinkedIn and TikTok. And then, X is probably last. But everyone kind of has those platforms that they tend to gravitate to, and their audience, that's where their core audience sees everything first. So this is really helpful so that you can figure out what platforms you should be focusing on, or if you want to, split up your time between all of them. It helps you really niche that down.
Yep. And then moving on to, searching your niche on each platform. This is maybe something that you'll have to kind of go into each platform and do some searching. So whatever your niche is, as we know that TikTok and, even now Instagram, especially YouTube, these platforms are becoming huge search engines where more and more people are taking their questions, their everyday kind of issues and struggles, looking for solutions. So even just doing quick searches on social media about, say that you're in clothing and you're a sustainable clothing brand and you're searching, okay, what are people saying about sustainable clothing? You can gather a lot of information about what people are searching for by, scrolling through some of the major networks. But this isn't, the only part of it. You can also look at your demographics. So this is also available in most of the native platforms. So you can, look at your account, look at your demographics. In Metricool, you can also see your demographics. You'll have kind of here we go. You will see, an overview of the gender, age, which countries and which cities most of your followers are in. So just at a glance, you can kind of see, okay, who are my followers? And this will give you insight of how you can better find them, how you can better, market them. Yeah. And then the last point is just catering to different platforms. So we all know that, each platform has its star formats, its different, demographics, its main users. So kind of understanding that information is very important as well.
Absolutely, because once you do that demographic analysis and you see, like, let's say, for example, we're comparing maybe your TikTok audience to your LinkedIn audience. There's a high chance those are going to be different. So maybe you can still typically use this. Like, if you want to post the same video, you might be able to do that and maybe just tweak the caption and the verbiage a little bit so that it caters to whatever, demographic, whatever age range. And those are easy ways that you can still use all of your content, but just make sure it's reaching the people who want to see it in the way that they want to see it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay. Also, David Torres asked, will there be a Q&A after? Yes, there will. We will open it up to questions at the end. So make sure if you have any questions, leave them at the end. Okay, number 4, I am feeling burnt out or experiencing a creative block. This is super common. We've heard this for marketers, content creators, social media managers across the board, especially because a lot of us now work from home and it's can feel never ending that you're never taking a break. But, we just want to let you know that even though you're on social media and you're kind of expected to show up, if you ever take a break or need to step back, then that is okay.
Completely okay. It's actually probably recommended because social media never does stop. So we as marketers deserve breaks.
And sometimes it feels like, oh, if I leave the platform or if I take a break, then I'm going to miss a lot of things. And you can come back and see, you can do some read ups of what's happened.
Mhm.
And I promise it will probably be more or less very, very similar.
And it'll be okay. I know a lot of the time we freak out, but most of the time it's fine.
Okay, so now here's some solutions. We kind of have a list of solutions, but first one is using an AI text generator. We will show you how to use Metricool's AI text generator in just a second, but obviously we know there's AI tools left and right. You can use Chat GPT. I know there's Jasper. I know that even now social media platforms are implementing them into the networks. But using AI to generate new ideas, even just new ways to word things, I think can really help spark creativity because a lot of the times, especially me as a copywriter, when I'm thinking of an idea, I have the ideas in my head, but I don't know how to put it into words. And sometimes you just need kind of that extra push, that extra like resource or tool to help you. So I love using AI for generating ideas, especially like headlines, titles. I don't necessarily use it for big pieces at all. But yeah, so if you ever need new ideas, AI definitely recommend. Inside of Metricool too, we also have image and video banks. So if you are ever in a lack of content, you can pull from these. They're royalty free from Pexels. So definitely utilize that in times when you need content. Canva templates, as we know, we love Canva. They have a ton of templates, ton of elements, ton of graphics. Really just an amazing resource for content creation. And now TikTok and Instagram have launched a bunch of Reels templates. Well, TikTok templates and then IG Reels templates. And these are free to use that have been created from other, creators. So you can take just the kind of the structure of the template, the video template, and then add in your own clips. Makes the editing process super easy.
It also saves you so much time. Like, if you don't have anything to post that day, most of the time you can find like a CapCut template or a Reel template and make it work for you. I know
Mhm.
we've done it on the social side.
Yes. Blogs are always a great resource. here at Metricool, we have a blog. If you want to read any of our blogs, we have marketing guides, we have social media news updates. So it's a great way to stay informed. We also have a newsletter if you want to subscribe to any newsletter. Newsletters are great. They give you, mostly a weekly update of what's been happening in social media. Of course, YouTube videos are a great way. They kind of take your brain. Sometimes it's easier for me to just watch a video and understand it rather than having to read through a whole blog. So YouTube videos are a great way to, view something if you're more of a visual learner. The TikTok Creative Center is a huge resource. It has a bunch of information about trending songs and trending ads. It has, resources for content creators it has a multitude of different resources. It's really a great place to look at for demographics, trends, all of that. And then also, if you have any favorite creators that you follow, make sure to see what they're posting. Even if they're not in your niche, you can still take what content has worked best for them and break it down to, why are people engaging with this? What themes are they using to kind of provoke people to comment or engage or feel something? So yeah, take inspo from your favorite creators.
Yeah, it's especially helpful because a lot of the times creators, they're first to know everything, right? This is their whole career as well. So a lot of the times, like, we like to look at our favorite creators and see, hey, like, what's trending? Can we make that work for social media marketing? Can we spin it and make like a joke about social media marketing, or just, relate it back to our jobs somehow? A lot of the times we can. And because they're usually first to like get on the trends or get on whatever's popular, it's a really easy way, especially if you're trying to really find that entertaining content. We find that it's really helpful for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to show the AI text generator really quickly before we move on to the next one. So if you didn't know, we have an AI text generator within the planner. So I already have it pulled up, but I will show you where you can find the little icon after. So basically, it's super easy to use. You just put in what you essentially want your post to be about. So I did write a post that talks about content strategy. Then you can select the length. So you can do a headline, like Aniston was saying, or you can do a medium length post or a long post. I did a long post just as an example. And then you can choose the tone, which is really nice. I did descriptive, but let's say you wanted to be creative or humorous, you could do that as well. And then all you need to do is click on generate text, and it's going to give you 5 options. As you can see, because this one is long, it gave me 3 very long options. I'm just going to read the very first part about it. But it says, hey everyone, let's talk about content strategy today. As a content creator, I've come to realize the importance of having a well-developed content strategy in order to achieve success on social media. And then it goes on to break down a little bit more about content strategy. So taking something like this, especially if you're looking for a longer post, you would want to tweak it to make it sound like your brand voice, or whatever tone that you speak in for yourself. The goal is to change it. It's never really to leave it the same. But you can also do something simple like a headline. So you could regenerate the text if you're just looking for maybe like a title to a blog or a title to a webinar. So we could do mastering your online presence, crafting an effective content strategy for social media success. And then it gives you some hashtags. So this is really helpful to have a starting point. And then using this, if you are in that creative rut, can give you some ideas. You can tailor the post, like you could make it, write a post for Facebook, write a post for LinkedIn. It's super helpful. And we also have a really easy guide down here. It'll lead to a blog so that if you need to know how to use it, that's also super helpful as well. So I'm going to get out of it so I can show you what it looks like. So when you're in the planner, it's going to look like this little icon right here, text generator with AI. It looks like a little robot, but it's a super helpful tool. And I know that are a lot of AI tools on the market. It's blown up so much within this last year. So we highly recommend for using it for your content ideas on those on those days you are lacking inspo.
Yes. Amazing. Okay. let's move on to the final social media nightmare. I don't have enough time to manage my or my clients' social media accounts. So, especially if you're a social media manager managing multiple social accounts, it can be time consuming to create content, schedule content, reports, um, all across the board of everything social media manager does. So that's why we at Metricool love to help save those social media managers, marketers, freelancers, whatever it might be, time. So if you aren't familiar with Metricool and don't know kind of some of these features, we're going to run through them. But one of them is called auto lists. So at Metricool, you can basically create almost like a string of content that will recycle and republish. So it'll take, the post that's from the top, it'll post it out, and then it'll move it down to the bottom. And you can create this to either recycle, so it'll move back up to the top of the list and then, come back down, or you can not have it recycle, just create a long list, and then once it's cycled through that, it'll end. There's a bunch of opportunities and kind of different capabilities with this. So we're going to show you just kind of how it looks.
Okay, so here is the auto list page. So you can find it under the planning tab, and then you'll go to the left over here on auto list. So as you can see, we have a couple. I'm going to show you the one that we use the most. So I'm going to click into it, and like Aniston said, it's kind of like a rolling list. It doesn't necessarily have to be a rolling list, but we have it on a cycle so that we can recycle it, but that is an option that you can choose. So basically you choose where you want to publish the content. So this one is for Twitter or X. And then here we pick the timing, so how often we want that content to go out. And then in the global presets, here's where we have the list to repeat. So once the list ends, it'll start back over again. So basically, we just have a bunch of preset Twitter posts or X posts to go out that share our blogs, because our blogs are typically evergreen. So anytime we have an evergreen blog post, we put in a small description and we link to the blog, and then we always make sure it's toggled on, and we just add it to the list. And then depending on the schedule, these will all go out. And then once they've gone out, they will go back down to the bottom of the list, and it starts right back over again. So it's really great to always have content rolling out, especially, like I said, if you have that evergreen content, it's never going to expire per se. Then you should use the auto list, because then you just, you always have something. If you're taking that break, for example, like let's say you need a break, you can set up a nice auto list and you don't even have to technically look at anything for that length of time that you're taking the break. So we really enjoy it, and you can use it for all of these platforms. We've used it for YouTube videos as well. It's a really handy tool. It's also one of like our most underrated features on the platform.
Mm-hmm. If you have a podcast too, then you can link the RSS feed. And the same that we do with the blogs, that you can link your podcast episodes. So that is a really awesome tool for those. I mean, if you have a blog too, great. If you have, podcast or something, then definitely take advantage of this.
Yes.
Okay. The next one is, we'll kind of do we'll do the planner and inbox maybe together, but Metricool's planner, Metricool's inbox, two tools that we take a lot of pride in. With our planner, you can schedule, a month's worth of content across all social platforms. So you can highlight whatever networks you want, whether that's Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. Like, you can post to them all at once at the same time if you want to, or you can select one or two. But the fact that you can post to multiple platforms in one place, kind of like Alex mentioned earlier, of if you feel this pressure, there's this pressure to be active on everywhere, but it's also time consuming. This is a great way to, build your presence across multiple platforms without needing to invest a ton of extra time, a ton of extra resources. Just a great tool to really manage your social media efficiently.
This is just like an overview of what's going out this week for us. So we use it a lot. We use it all across the board for all of our platforms. We really enjoy like the multi-posting feature, and it's just really nice to save you that time and to get your content across multiple places. And then, like Aniston was saying, we'll show the inbox right now. But this is also really nice to do inbox management in one spot so that you don't have to log it. Like, let's say, if you were to do this manually, I'd first have to log into Instagram, reply to all the comments, then to YouTube, then to LinkedIn. So we pull all of those in for your connected accounts so that you can reply. Obviously, if you have a lot, it takes a second to load. But you can sort by unresolved, unread, or all, and you can answer everything here. Here, we're even pulling in the comments we're getting currently live off of this webinar. So it's really nice and easy to use.
Amazing. Okay, and then the last kind of tool we have for this is team management. So here at Metrical, we use both Slack and Asana for team communications, and then creating those workflows and team management and organizing projects. I would not be able to live without Asana or Slack. They are huge, huge tools in our daily jobs and our daily management. It's just, especially if you have bigger projects, you can add in smaller tasks of everything else that you need to get done before, the big project or the big launch or whatever it is due. You can task out other team members. You can add collaborators to different projects. It's just an awesome tool that really helps our team stay
on track.
on track.
Yeah.
And Slack, if you work in a remote space, it's a huge resource to stay communicated with your team members. So, recommend team management sites like this or whatever ones you have.
Yeah.
David, it looks like you've been using Basecamp, which awesome if it works for you. I know that Notion is great.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who use Notion and love it because it's so customizable. And I think these tools are also not even just for team management, but I think specifically like Asana and those types of tools are really great, even if you're just an individual, because, putting all your tasks in one spot is super helpful just to kind of see like a to-do list or a calendar view in front of you. All of that is just so helpful for organization in general, which obviously running a brand or a business is needed. So I highly recommend, if you don't have like an organizing tool, I would recommend, getting Asana or Notion and really trying it out because it really changes things. It helps so much with like productivity.
Yes. Okay. So we have a fun announcement. So if anyone wants to enter a chance to win one of these 3 prizes, so you can either win an extended trial of Metricool for 45 days, so an extended premium trial. So usually our trials are 30 days, but this would be an extended trial for any premium plan, 45 days. You can also receive a free audit of one social media account of your choice. So you can send us, either your Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever handle that you want. And we can audit your account for you. And then the last one, the biggest prize, is going to be a free Metricool starter plan for 3 months. So the starter plan is our first premium plan. Includes a bunch of different advanced tools. It unlocks social media reporting. You can have multiple smart links, which is our link in bio tool. It has LinkedIn connection. You can analyze up to 100 competitors in our competitor analysis.
It unlocks our hashtag search engine. It unlocks so many features, and 3 months is also like a great time frame to see, how all of those premium features can work for you. So definitely drop those IG handles. Our plan is to announce the winners tomorrow on Halloween, of course, to keep in theme. We're going to announce the winners on Instagram. So, of course, if you are tuning in later today, you can always still drop your IG handle in the comments. You can also send them to us via DM on our Instagram account. It's at Metricool app. So if you want to do it that way as well, we encourage you to invite your friends to enter. It's super fun. Get in the spooky spirit.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining. Once again, if you aren't watching live, then you can always watch this back. This will live on our YouTube video, our YouTube channel. And also for those who want to try out 30 days of premium. So if you don't end up winning one of the prizes, you can still use code SPOOKY23 to try any of our Metricool premium plans 30 days for free. So have a bunch of resources for you guys here today.
Yes.
I hope you take advantage of them. Let us know what you think. Let us know if this has helped with any social media horrors, overcoming any nightmares. We are always here to help you guys. And yeah.
And then we're also going to open it up for any questions if you have any before we go.
Okay, we have one.
When are we able to connect our personal LinkedIn account? Eagerly waiting for it. So this is actually not so much on our end. This is actually a limitation that we have through the LinkedIn API. So of course, we always, because we are an authorized tool, we follow the API rules to a T. So as soon as LinkedIn allows us to do that, of course, we would love to add it. But right now we don't have like an estimated time. But we would love to add that in the future if possible.
Yes.
I don't know if we missed any questions earlier.
And for those of you who are still here, we have some pretty exciting features coming in the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure to stay up to date because these are going to be some game changers. Okay, how do you recommend we cater to different platforms, changing editing, captions, descriptions? This is a great question. I think one way, obviously, there's going to be different content formats that are going to work better. So I think, LinkedIn, you're going to have more of those professional, those articles, documents, even now carousels, polls. And then I think when it comes to, TikTok, Instagram, definitely more of those video contents seem to work really well. But I think when it comes to captions, descriptions, there's ways that you can, keyword search and search for, trending SEO terms across each platform. I like to use a tool called Keyword.io, or there's also SEMrush, there's Google Trends, or Answer the Public. I think researching what people are asking for in that space will help you pull together those SEO keywords and help you kind of change the caption to optimize and have more people be able to find your content. But yeah.
And a lot of the times too, it sounds really daunting to change all of those things, but it's really just small tweaks. We make such small tweaks to each of the platforms that we post on. So for example, like if we're posting on Instagram, obviously the CTA is going to be somewhat of a link in bio CTA, whereas if we're posting on Facebook and LinkedIn, we'll change it to obviously linking to the actual link. It can be such small things like that. We actually have a really great post about repurposing content to different platforms. We're going to drop it in the comments. Our marketing assistant, Robert, will drop it in the comments. I hope you know what post I'm talking about. But it's really helpful, and it's like a great visual to see just how easily you can tweak your captions for different platforms. For how much time is the code Spooky23 working?
It will be active until, I believe, end of November. So you have 1 month to test it out, use the code, and then whenever you use the code, obviously it will unlock that 30 days. So you have up until November 30th to use it.
Perfect. So we also have, can I post stories to Facebook through Metricool? I can't seem to find the feature. So we don't currently have this feature. Similar to how I said before with like the LinkedIn API, this is a limitation through Meta. Of course, we would love to add it, but we have to wait until they can give us that, permission to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How can we add trending music on IG Reels through Metricool? I didn't find that. And also how to add questions as poll on IG stories. So these two are not capable in our platform. Again, an API issue. So if you want to add that trending sound or things like questions or polls in IG stories, you can always schedule your content in Metricool and then toggle on to send you a notification to post manually. So with this, you have all of the content scheduled, and then it'll send you a notification with the content and say, okay, it's time to post. And this is a way that you can then go in, you're reminded of the post, go in, add the trending sound, or if you're posting a story, you can go in, add the poll quickly. So unfortunately, we wish that, we had trending music directly in our platform, but hoping that, this will soon or one day come available.
Hopefully it'll be available one day. It is one of the most common questions we get, though. I have just a quick little hack, though. If you are looking to add trending music on Instagram Reels, a lot of the times Instagram is really good at detecting the sounds. So you can just go ahead and upload your video through Metricool and schedule it out, or you can even do a push notification. But if you're using a sound that's popular, IG will usually detect it. Sometimes it takes not even an hour. Sometimes it'll take like a full day. But if it can detect the sound in their library, it'll automatically add it to the sound page. It doesn't always work, so it's not 100%, but it's pretty useful. And a lot of the times, like I said, if it's like a popular sound, it will find the page.
Good to know.
Okay. When posting the same content to different platforms, is it better to post all at the same time or different times? So I would say that this is very dependent on your account and your analytics. For us, we post at different times. So we use our best times to post feature. So we'll post our Instagram post at whatever's the optimal time, and then our Facebook and LinkedIn at whatever those optimal times are. However, I would say that this, again, is also dependent on the type of post it is. Like if it's a time sensitive post, then I think it's totally fine to post everything at the same time. I would try testing out different things and seeing what works best for you.
Yep. Amazing. Okay, well, I think that might be all the time that we have today. But again, make sure to send us your IG handles, either drop them in the captions or DM us on Instagram. I will pull up the QR code for you to scan and follow us on Instagram so you can send us your Instagram handles. Remember that you need to send them by the end of today because we will be announcing the winners tomorrow.
Yes, and it'll be done on IG stories. So if you do win, you'll get a tag notification as well in stories. So definitely, if you're tuning in late, you can still enter. Go ahead and send us a DM or drop it in the comments here. Share it with your friends. We're super excited about it. And we hope that it makes Halloween a little bit more fun.
Yes. Everyone have a fun, safe Halloween. And we'll see you guys next time.